Hello, and welcome back to another character breakdown. Yours truly, ennohex. So, let's jump straight into it. Today we're gonna do Nelson. Nelson with the melon on his head. Nelson isn't, at least to me, your typical King of Fighters character. In fact, I dare to say he feels a bit more like Angel. So if you only started at 2002, I reckon he feels pretty King of Fighters like. 2001 was it? 2001. Alright, Nelson. So, the first oddity I think would be the fact that his robotic arm doesn't stay on the same side when he jumps over. Whoop, pops to the other side. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Weird glitch, but there you have it. Moving straight on to his attacks. I think we'll start with a CD, which is his nice little shoulder bash. Jumping CD seems to be an air-to-air thing. You're going to have to time it very low to hit someone who's standing. If we take a look at these other normals, let's do the far normals first. Okay, start right at the beginning again. Here we are. So far normal standing fierce punch is very nice. You'll notice he moves forward every time he punches. So that's quite nice after you've done failed hit confirms, because he can grab another punch directly afterwards. The standing fierce kick is little left hook or right hook depending on which side you're standing. Yeah. So this hook punch is another attack where he moves forward. Range not as good as the fierce punch, but still pretty close. I'll actually check that. I wonder how far away. Maybe we should skip to the other practice mode. Take a look at the distance. Go to the training stage itself. Then we can see how far away each one is. Maybe they're all the same. We'll see. Let's take a look. I guess about there. Put his foot somewhere just over that line. Nope. Back a little. Yeah, it's a whiff. A whiff. You have to put his foot really in the middle there. Okay, that it checked the. Oh, it looks like this kick might actually have an edge. This kick nails. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. So the fist kick actually has better range. Go figure. That's neat. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so fierce kick. That hook punch actually has better range than his standing fierce punch. Let's move straight to his weak attacks. He's got this really cool looking standing weak punch. A nice little hook punch there again for the kicks. That's more a jab, but there's a bit of shoulder in there. Twists a bit. And I don't think any of these are cancelable. So all his standing normals are not cancelable at all. Yeah, I don't get anything out of cancelling here. Nope, nothing. Alright, so all standing far normals are not cancelable. If we go to his close attacks, do his standing fierce punch quickly. That's definitely cancelable, so a nice little in-close fierce punch does 2 hits. Cancelable, I think, after first or second hit. Yeah, so you can do a command normal, or you can cancel into a special afterwards. That's the fierce punch. Standing fierce kick. There's our standing fierce kick. Does that look... Yep, also command normal cancelable. The pushback looks quite far in that though. Yeah, it does. Still works. We do his standing weak punch. This is both command normal cancelable. But you'll notice that you can't command normal cancel for a combo using his forward and weak punch command normal. So let's switch to the normal designation and say forward and A. So his forward and A doesn't cancel from anything into combo unless you're using the fierce punch or the fierce kick. Weak punch, forward and weak punch, or A, forward and A, doesn't give you a combo. However, the A back and A does. And the same with the B back and A. So both his B and his standing A close are cancelable. There we go. Okay, so that's his standing normals. If we take a look at his ducking attacks. Down and fierce punch, relatively good anti-air. Down and weak punch, I think it's also cancelable. Yes. So there we go. Down and weak kick. That's odd. He gives me a chain and or a link, and I'll get to that in a minute. That feels like an absolute link. I can literally piano those. That's interesting to note. I'll get to that in a minute. And let's see. Yeah, because of the chain, I can't seem to. Look at that. Okay, so I can't actually cancel a forward and weak or a back and weak from a ducking B. I can't go ducking B back and A or ducking B forward and A because he has a chain. So if you press A straight after the B, you get a chain. And I can literally piano these. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm just gonna hold down and then piano them quickly. Oh, let's piano it properly. So it was down in BA. There you go. Down in BA. Drag my finger across, and they're being pianoed. So he goes and gets a chain out of that. And then obviously you're back on the A button, and you can do your back and A. So you get straight from a chain into a command normal, and that's how this character pretty much works. So that's his ducking attacks. I think ducking fierce kick. He does sweep. Range is pretty good. And I think it is cancelable. Nope. Can I just duck, please? Thanks. Okay. Yes. Command normal cancelable. No. But special move cancelable, yes. Like that. So that's actually very important in that you can't go straight from your sweep to your overhead, which is his third command normal start. So that's very important actually. It's definitely special cancelable. Try to sweep again. Ah, you see there, but you can't do any command normal afterwards. Okay, so that's quite important. The ducking D or the sweep does cancel into a special, but doesn't cancel into a command normal. That's kind of important. Alright, so let's get to his command normals. The first most notable one is his forward and A, forward and weak punch. He dashes forward slightly, good bit of range on that. And this is also the first opener for his list of commands that can happen after that. I think, what do they call them? Go look there quickly. They call them the combinations. So it's going to be command moves, and then combination A, combination B, and combination C, and command moves D, combination Ds. So he's got a set of combinations that he can use after his command normals. So the first command normal that you can use is forward and A. The second command normal you can use is back and A. And the third one is a forward and B. Forward B being an overhead, of course. So this is where mix-up city happens. And all of those will start giving him combination attacks. So we can go through the first tier of combination attacks quite quickly. I think we'll start with just using forward and B. Let's see. Yes, okay, so that's forward and B after his first one, and they all work the same. So you can do every one of those first command normals into the forward and B. Or you can do down and B. So similar thing. Oops, the other one. Or even this one. Okay, so that's down and B. You can then use up and B is an overhead. This one. So in this case, you can do 2 overheads, which is sneaky. And then you get back and B, which is the best option by far because he gets to launch. And that launch is important because that's where your combos will do the best damage. So all of those work. Right. So now, after those attacks, you actually get to do others as well. And that's when you can start using the C button, or the D button. So the forward and D or back and D will make you move forward and back respectively. But you can't do these after the first openers. So you're going to have to do one of the B attacks first in his combinations before you can do his dashing forward, dashing back, or as I like to call them, the finishings for the commands. So to give you an idea of kind of how this works, you can do, let's say, bring it to the middle of the screen quickly, you can do a forward and A, followed by a back and B, dash, back and B, dash, forward and C to finish. And it'll look something like this. Okay, so that gives you an idea. He dashes twice to either side. But you're not stricken just as that. You can use pretty much anything you want. You know, anything that connects in an order that you like it tends to work. As long as you use the B's in the middle and the C's and D's at the end, you'll be fine. And if you are using the D's, you can't unfortunately keep on dashing indefinitely left to right. You only get, I think, 2 dashes before you get to change. So you can't get another back and B there to keep on launching indefinitely. Yeah, you won't get a back and B. But you can see, however, how this leads to lots of reset potential. Because if you are launching someone into the air, you can end up putting them on the floor, getting your reset, and going either low or overhead, or just standing, in fact, with a lot of his attacks. So that's basically how his combination set works. Let's quickly finish off by taking a look at what the combinations do at the end. So for instance, if you're using his C combination right at the end, you do your opener, you do your B's, and then you can do a finish. So one of the finishes is up in C, which is that jumping attack. If you press, I think, forward and C, you get that very cool looking double punch. And the second attack of the double punch, if you delay it and only get the second, you can actually combo into that further. Give an example. So, for instance, let's try and time that better. Nick, come on. There, that actually counts as a launch then. So, even that second attack, you can actually gain launch property on, provided you're in the right place at the right time. And you time the punches not to do the ground bound first. Because if you do the ground bound first, you're not going to have enough time to get anywhere near him to do another special or a super or anything like that. Also, something that's quite cool is his CD being a wall bound can actually get him pretty close to you if you do one of his specials straight after. I'm wondering if I shouldn't finish the explanation first on his kind of odd things that I've noticed first. Yeah, let's finish this odd special thing first and then move on to jumping. Okay, so after his C attacks, the 2 that I've given, the jumping one and the forward one, he does have a back and fierce, back and C, which I believe is a guard break. So you can do this. And he's suddenly guard crushed. Sorry, guard crushed is the correct word. And that means you're open to start big combos again. So, when you're doing your resets, the option exists to do something into a guard crush as well. So not only do you have the reset, you have the reset into overhead, the reset into low, the reset into guard crush, or every other conceivable option, provided you know what you're doing. So that makes him an extremely dangerous character once you've learned him. And I haven't learned him yet, so my version of the character is really just annoying instead of dangerous. And then finally also he has a low option, so you can also go low, and that is a knockdown as well. So the interesting thing about this is all that none of those attacks, once they've started the combinations, can be cancelled out of into any special. So the only ones that can are the 2 command normals. 3 command normals. I was just checking at the overhead cancels as well. So any of those 3 command normals can be cancelled out of. And they can also be quick maxed out of too. So for instance, if you're doing the back and A, you can quick max. And that's very important because this guy has some very interesting tools to make that super effective and extremely easy. So he'll end up being quite easy to use once you've mastered a couple of things. So let's quickly take a look at his air attacks. Other than the jumping CD, which was this thing, he's got his jumping C, a nice little arced punch that he can use to get in. And he has a jumping A, which is the anti-air of choice. But his jumping D is no slouch either. So if you have a lot of guys jumping at you, definitely try and use the jumping A or the jumping D. Jumping D is that uppercut one. And then another get-in tool is his jumping B, 2 hits. So also good for ducking opponents if timed very well. So those are all quite useful. Wow, that one hit. Anyway, you can get the idea. Generally, you can bounce around and do really good damage, even with just a regular combo without using supers. To my mind, that makes him very useful as kind of your first character. If you use him there, he'll be the battery to make most of the meter for your other characters. Not that he's any slouch in the meter department, because there are some supers that are extremely useful as well. Right, so that covers jumping and his combination attacks. Looking at his specials, he only has 2. So the one is a command grab, which is half circle back forward and A or C. He does rapid punches, launches, with no follow-up. The A version, similar story. The EX version gives you a slight follow-up. So that gives you reset. I must be honest, I haven't managed to get any supers in there. So if someone else manages to do that, congratulations. Yeah, I get nothing. I wonder if the max will work. No, that's never going to get there. Alright, and then you can do the half circle forward and fierce kick, which is D. Or the half circle forward light kick, which is B. And the recovery and distance are different depending. So if you use D version, the recovery is a bit longer. And if you use the B version, the recovery is a bit faster. But the distance the one does, obviously the D version, much further than the B version. And those are useful because if you combine them with something like your CD, you can get in really quickly to do kind of damaging launches and things. Just try and get there fast enough. Just piano those keys too. Muscle needs for the first one. So there you go. That is an immediate launcher then after the wall bound. Distance providing. Let's really try this better. I think maybe that's an easier way to do it. Oh yeah, much easier. Alright, so that is CD, forward and A, and then back and B, and you have your launch. Alright, that's much easier. Neat. So that means you can pretty much follow up with another dashing attack, or even that jumping punch, which just looks really cool. Try that again. Yeah, that's very cool. Alright, so there you go, some interesting tech that you can use for the dashing attacks. So quite useful in combination, and they don't walk past or run past. That kind of move is reserved only for his dashing combination move. So if you do block attacks and you use the D button, forward and D against someone, if they're blocking, let's just make our fella block quickly. You can get a dash through to the other side, which the special moves do not do. So just bear that in mind. Right, so that's his specials, that's his combinations, that's pretty much everything. Let's head on to supers. Okay, so supers are interesting. At least one of them is I think it's the EX version of this. So let's do this double quarter circle forward and A or C. He does this very cool looking punch. Let's just quickly nail him with it. Right. So that's very neat. The guy drops to the floor, but you don't get anything afterwards. So there's nothing to be had there, even though he crumples. Nada. And then he has a quarter circle forward and B or D. And it looks like a firecracker, but what actually happens there, I don't know if you can see it, is that there are many little punches that he throws out. And they're just so fast that you basically can't see them. The EX version of that does a bit more. Okay. And then the interesting part, and I'm going to move to the corner just for this for a sec. His EX version of the punch move does in fact wall bound. And it doesn't look like you get anything afterwards just from there. But if you do, moving this side, if you do the launch, what invariably happens is, because he's higher in the air, he has time to slide down to the floor. And that makes all the difference. It means you get a follow-up after using that attack. So if you've managed to combo into the EX super, you do actually get different attributes. Let's quickly try that. Move this side rather, it's easier. Ah, too far. Try here. Yeah, so if you're pushing. Oh, come on, Nick. So there is your actual extra hit. Okay, and that is big news for two reasons. The first one is you can do a reset. The second one is you actually can do a second super in there. Now, to be fair, I think they only allow you to get the other super in. So it's going to have to be a 4-bar version of the character. Not that that's really a problem, because the damage is actually still a bit bonkers. Oh, come on. It's Thursday. Oh goodness. Try this. Come on. Terrible today. Must be tired. So that stuff ends up being possible, and that damage is outright bonkers. Some characters will use all 5 bars just to get that kind of damage. And what's odd is you actually get less damage if you decide to do quick max in between that. So the 1 hit extra that you do get from your quick max means that you get less damage from that combo. This is a bit silly. So again, you know, my reference to kind of making old Melonhead someone who builds meter for you makes the most sense, I think. So that's both his supers, and then he has his climax move, which I've shown you before, the one where he dashes through and does a flurry of punches. It does look amazingly cool. What I like about it is that they give you the entire kind of like look from the stage, very 3D. Something I feel they should have definitely done for Game Cup 1 as well. I feel his looks less flashy. So I think the only other thing that's worth mentioning is if you do decide to try and do the climax move from any super, try and use it from his conventional or his normal quarter circle forward and punch. Don't try the EX version or the one that uses 2 meters. You'll be wasting a lot of damage and a lot of meter just for that. So just try and keep it simple with him, I think, and you'll have the best kind of deal. And now I want to move on to the odd things. The oddest thing that I've noticed with him, he has got, for the best of me, and I've tried to work this out with Illiterate as well, who is definitely my go-to guy when I start talking about things like links and chains and those kind of things, because I don't see myself as much of the kind of technical term fellow as everybody else. So I've discussed with him, and there are a couple of things that they don't show in the command list with this character that I think bear some importance. And the first one is the chain I mentioned earlier. So if you piano while holding down BA, you get these attacks in order, and this is a definite chain, because you can't even do down and B and a command normal with A. You get a chain. So even down and B standing A is part of the chain. Okay, here's the kicker. If you do standing B A, it's not. So standing B does in fact not chain. It is the crouching B A or crouching B, crouching A that chains. The rest are what I believe are called delayed links. So you can actually do punches and kicks in between, but you can't piano them, they're not a chain. So to that regard, he has this one which I started off with, which is the down and B, down and A. And he has the down and B standing A. And both of those can be command normal cancelable in the back and A. So you have a nice hit confirm, which is very cool. Furthermore, this is where it gets weird, because that chain can also be linked. So if you decide to do down and BA or down and BA, you can follow it up with BA or A. And I'll give you an example of how that works. You can do... try it. Down and BAA. There we go. So down and BAA gives you that. If you do down and BA, you can do BA. There we go. There you go. That was down and B standing A, standing B standing A, which is bonkers. Then you can also do BA BA. You can also do AB AB. Try that again. AB AB. There we go. And the fourth hit of those is never cancelable. So once you've done the fourth hit of those, you cannot cancel into a special. But obviously you can quick max. So you would think, wow, that's amazing, that's fantastic. But there's one small issue. It doesn't always hit crouching opponents. So if your opponent is crouching, your standing B whiffs. Okay? Your close A hits, but your far one doesn't. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Distance dependent certain attacks. So down and B standing A will work. Down and B standing A, down and B will work. So you get down and B standing A, down and B standing A. Which is now where it gets complicated. Because that was two chains linked. And then you can still do, I believe, a standing A after it, which is another link. So two chains linked with another standing A, which is a linked. Gotta be quick. Can't get it. I might be wrong though, I don't think it works like that. It's bonkers though. And it gets worse. You can do, I think, down and B, standing A, down and BA, and then standing A. So it'll be down and B, standing A, down and B, A, standing A, and you'll get 5 hits. I think that only works on standing, but we'll try it on ducking quickly. There's the last jab. Okay, so that one actually whips. Oh my word, it doesn't. Okay, so there you go. There's the entire thing. That's down and B, standing A, down and B A. Sorry, that's down and B, standing A, down and B, down and A, standing A. So that's the full 5 hits, and that's a hit confirm into a quick max. So those are things they don't show you in the command list, which I think are extremely important for this character, especially this down and BA, back and A. That is like the opener of most of his combos. If you're jumping in and you want your hit confirm, that's the way to go. Especially because you can also quick max after the back and A. With ease, I might add. So that's very easy. Otherwise, if you want to, what you can do is you can jump in fierce punch forward and A, and then start your chains from there, or your combination attacks from there. But really, this is hit confirmable way to go. And even if you realize none of that hit, you can always press back and D after your first B hit. E. Yep. Go again. Back in D. There we go, and I'm out of there. So even if your hit confirm fails, you've got a bit of a fail safe. You can like jump out of the way and not get hit. And it gets worse because if you decide that you're going to play a little bit of an odd game of tag, you can still do that jump back and then a command afterwards. So let's try that quickly. Yeah, that'll work. And then an attack, or even the up and C, which I think is a nice way to go in because that's then an overhead. Try this instead. No, not back, let's try forward. Oh, Nick, what are you doing? Like that. Okay, so you can be sneaky, you can jump back and then still come in with an overhead, which is bonkers. But extremely cool. So you can see that like this character has many tools, even though he doesn't have many specials. And I think, frankly, he's amazing. I really enjoy playing as him. He's a very interesting character, and even though a lot of folks will think he might play like Heavy D, he doesn't. Heavy D was all about the links, and he didn't have chains. This guy has a bit of both. And so in some extent it limits the kind of way he plays to a Heavy D player, because the Heavy D players were used to doing their B attacks and their A attacks as chains, and this guy has links. Sorry, the other way around. They were used to doing theirs as one hit links, and this guy has chains. And look at this is crazy. Look at that, that's amazing. I know LB's gonna be all in my grill about this, because the last time I was trying to explain the character, or was just impressed by the character, he said I spent the entire time, you know, gawking about how cool he is. Pretty much the same. Enjoy the video. I'm gonna make some combos and, you know, subscribe, do what you need to do. Cheers.
拳で勝利をつかむ。ほらほらほらほら、俺の全力受け上がれ。まだ終わったいねえ。降りてきて。俺の拳滑る。俺の拳滑る。